But I could just said, you guys were catching tadpoles. Like I knew we grew up in the same area, so we were,
Oh yeah,
a lot alike. We both like Top
We didn't
Gun.
have cell phones. That's what he said.
Oh, you gotta love Top Gun at Days of Thunder. If you don't like Top Gun at Days of Thunder, you're not an American,
right? I remember going. So I used to go to the YMCA summer camp whenever I was probably 5, 6, 7.
Did you ride that old yellow bus?
Yeah, but they were right across the street, and I was St. Martin, so it was Ocean Springs, St. Martin.
Well, see, I grew up at the Y on the swim team.
So we were probably there. You're a couple years older than me.
Yeah,
but that's where I was. Like I did some swim lessons there. I remember that.
It's funny. I mean, are we on the podcast now? Are we talking now?
Yeah, we're on the podcast.
Oh, we're on the podcast. Okay, so we're podcasting. So when I grew up in downtown Ocean Springs, we didn't have nothing, right? It was me, Seth Fields, Cleet De Niro, and Jermaine Gaucher, and that's it. And there was no cool bars or nothing. You had Mr. Lovelace with his Lovelace Drugs, and he sat in his green chair. Go and see Mr. Moeller up at the service station with all the Moeller brothers that you probably know.
Oh, you're old school.
Springs. I'm old school, son. And you had St. Alphonsus, and that's it. Okay,
that's it.
We didn't have
Tacony?
We didn't have basketball goals. We didn't have nothing. So we'd have to figure out what to do. So a lot of times we just go down in the ditches and the swamps,
tadpole hunting,
crawfish hunting, snapping turtle hunting, stuff like that. And then, but you go downtown and it would be like the old man with all the shoes in the back of his car. Do y'all remember him? Well, he lived around me. He stole my dog one time.
What?
My dog. My mom, when I was little, my mom named this dog George, and it ended up being a girl. But George stuck. All right, so George was this mutt, and at some point George took up with this old man with his car that had like 3,000 shoes in it. Okay,
it's like the bed of his truck, or
yeah, it's with this. Now it's probably sold it for $500,000 for his old house right there, but it was a piece of crap, and he had like literally like 3,000 shoes in the back of his truck, and not a car, and it was like this big station wagon with the wood paneling.
Oh,
kind of like National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, like Clark's.
I'm on
the original one. Okay, and so my dog George just took up with him and never came back.
So you've never been the same since. That's what's
never been the same since, man.
You for life.
You want to take it in?
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're here with Corban Gunn, attorney at law.
Esquire.
Yeah.
Esquire. Street lawyer.
Yeah. Esquire.
Is that what it's called? Street lawyer?
That's what I call myself.
Is that what you call yourself?
I mean, anybody that practices law in boots and jeans is a street lawyer.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, anybody that practices law in general is a street something,
yeah,
right?
Well, not necessarily. Some are pretty. Some are tall building lawyers, I like to call them. And then some are street lawyers.
So you you got your own building now, right?
Well, yeah, I have my own office, own building. I've got a checkered past, I guess you could call.
Yeah, everybody does.
Everybody does.
That's what makes
man.
you a gym, right?
Yeah, I'm probably the only guy in the room in a deposition that have been punched in the face.
Yeah, definitely.
So you gotta bring a little life experiences into things, man.
True.
So like sitting around here drinking good bourbon and talking to you guys. Same thing.
Well, I'm tickled to have you.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, we met a few years back, and you've always been an interesting friend of mine. And I know, like, whenever we're together, we have good times. Whether war stories really is what it all boils down to.
I don't know if it's war stories.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're the same. We come from the same area. We're a little age gap in generation, but I could just said, you guys were catching tadpoles. Like I knew we grew up in the same area, so we were,
oh yeah,
a lot alike. We both like Top Gun.
We didn't have cell phones. That's what he said.
Oh, you gotta love Top Gun at Days of Thunder. If you don't like Top Gun at Days of Thunder, you're not an American,
right? But
you're a communist.
So tell us where your office is now.
So my office is in downtown Biloxi.
Okay.
It's right across from the courthouse. Actually, my building had the roof tore off by the hurricane, and so I'm in the process of redoing that.
Really?
And
get a good insurance payout, or
well, actually,
probably need to talk to another insurance agent. Maybe
no. I'll talk to another insurance agent today, but everything's getting worked out. It's gonna be really, really nice. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I've never been a lawyer that had to have a nice place,
right?
Because I just didn't think that was important. But I am going to have a nice place, and looking forward to that. And I guess it's important to some people. Most of my clients don't care what my.
Well, I mean, plus it's a creative space for you too,
like.
though. I mean, that's where you kind of. It's got to be nice. You got to have that environment.
Well, yeah, you got to have an environment. I'm the type of guy that has to have a place to go. I'm not a type of guy that can sit at home and work. I'm not a type of guy that can, just do things on the fly. I've got to have my space, and I'll be willing to talk about that. It's probably because, I was talking to a friend of mine today about his son. His son's getting in trouble in school and is a little hyperactive and has been diagnosed with ADHD. Well, I have ADHD.
Same.
too.
Okay. And so, I've got to be literally, I've got to be in my spot. I can't be doing something routine. Else. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be thinking mind racing on something else if I'm not in my spot. So
yeah, that's kind of what you see here.
Yeah.
It's kind of gives that kind of element where, with me and Matt having a creative space, but also when I do work for my computer too.
Sure.
It's just when you're on that desk so long, you step outside the doors, and when I want to step outside the doors, I want it to have an environment to just take a 5-minute break. And feel good, get back in there and start working again. So bounce off and it came, but it didn't happen overnight. So when people ask me, like they'll see this and like, how'd y'all do this or how we started adding this, like one piece at a time.
Well, that's about it. Like anything you ever do.
But you do want to look sharp. I mean, nobody wants an attorney that. Absolutely. I saw a meme the other day, and there was a guy, and he was wearing these like corduroys and with cufflinks at the bottom, and it said, "If your attorney looks like this, you're going to jail."
What?
I will give a shout out to my boy Pete Grant. That's where I get my stuff, man. That's
Peter
good
Grant.
stuff.
Good guy over there.
Good guy, good clothes.
Guys looking for some good clothes, I'll go see him. He's in Mary Mahoney's, inside Mary Mahoney's.
I'm old school Mary Mahoney's when the fountain was there and the.
I'm with the cafe at night.
The cafe at night was so money.
Was it Elga? What's her name?
Elga.
God, the beignets.
Those ladies were awesome.
So they've never even thought about bringing this stuff
Man,
back.
I talked to Bobby about that.
He's got to be getting way more rent on the building than he was making.
I don't think they were making any money off the cafe, but it was so. I mean, everybody that grew up on the coast everybody went to Mary Mahoney's Cafe. I mean, I studied for the bar exam in there.
So you got real memories.
Oh, I got real.
I got vivid, faint memory. I was a kid.
I remember everything. I mean, I even remember pulling on the cigarette machine to see if one would come out. So, yeah, I mean, old school Mary Mahoney's.
Me and you used to hang out at Mary Mahoney's a good bit whenever we were in the Rotary Club doing that. We'd miss you up there. I'm following suit from you. I told them whenever they nominated me as the president. And
you do better than me.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you guys, I can't promise I'm going to do a great job, but I will promise you I'm going to do better than Corbin did.
I'm sure everybody started laughing.
Yeah. It was a big hit. So I add that to my joke regimen now. Now it's on the podcast.
Well, yeah, if you can use my name as a joke, everybody does.
No, man, everybody respects you, man. Even though you got punched in the face during the deposition.
So where'd you?
No, I have not gotten punched in the face. I said I'm the only one that's ever been punched in the face that's in a deposition.
Okay.
So what got you into your career path?
On the career path wise, in my family, you're either a lawyer, a doctor, or a Methodist preacher. I mean, that's just how it rolled for a long time. Yeah. And, I'm not smart enough to be a doctor, and I don't think getting in the cloth is my thing.
Yeah.
So I ended up being a lawyer. I worked in Washington, D.C. For one of our senators after college because my grades weren't very good. And went up there, enjoyed my time there, had an awesome experience doing that.
How'd you look into that?
Man, law actually. My great-grandfather swore in Trent Lott when he was a lawyer as a young man, and so I applied to him, and I went into his mailroom, and I would open mail. Man, I was a hell of a mail opener. I was wicked with a
still are
with a letter opener, and eventually, after doing that for a period of time, his personal assistant that had been with him since he took the leadership position in the Senate, left to do something else, and I became his personal assistant. For several years, and that was really, really interesting time.
That was cool. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, man. When the riot at the Capitol was going on a couple weeks ago, my kids and I were watching the Capitol be raided. I pointed to the window where my desk was. I was like, that was where my desk was. And they're like, what? I said, of course, I whittled my name in that desk. It's probably still up there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm the only guy that probably brought in a pocket knife into the Capitol.
No, I bet a Secret Service agent's got one.
Oh, man. Well, no, they didn't have pocket knives.
How long were you there for?
I was there from 2000 to 2003. So 9/11 happened when I was there. A lot of cool things happened while I was there. I had a wonderful experience.
Now,
went to the White House all the time.
Forth?
No, it wasn't back and forth.
You were there.
I was there. I lived there. Lived with two great guys.
Was it hard work?
Guys. Well, yeah, it was hard work. When you start looking back at it, of course, you're young, but
yeah,
I mean,
you were living for the moment then.
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody was, it's kind of like going up and work. It's kind of before everybody did that.
Yeah.
A lot of kids do that now, and it's a great experience. But I looked at it like you could either go to D.C. or you could go to Colorado and work a ski lift. They're about the same thing when you start thinking about it, but it just looks a little bit better.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, one can help you long term, and you
I
can
guess
tear your ACL when doing the other one.
And people I've met that are still friends, that many are still politically connected in politics and stuff. We're all still great friends because we were up there working together. Yeah, it was real cool.
Well, it's good to see your network and your network grow, and then you able to revisit your network and how it helps you out later in life.
It does. In the type of law I actually practice, it's not really in my business, but it's just good to know good people at a lot of places.
Let's talk about the law that you practice.
Sure.
What is it? What are your specialty cases?
Specialty cases wise, I handle serious personal injury. I handle a lot of injured children. I mostly do that. I also represent the city of Biloxi on litigated matters, like, for example, when the police are named in a lawsuit for, say,
Little Boosie? Did you do the Little Boosie even?
I was involved in Little Boosie.
Oh,
let's just say I shook down Little Boosie.
Oh,
he
hasn't been back to Mississippi since.
I mean, think of your last name though.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Like
Do you have any good law?
He didn't
What's
like
a good
me.
slogan? Do you have a good slogan?
I don't have a damn slogan.
We got your last name's Gunn, dude. You
Dude,
better
I know.
come up.
Hey, that's just those guys are turkeys. None of
That's
them.
it?
None of them
Are
ever.
we,
punched
are we
anybody.
talking, is that Shooter McGavin?
I don't know, but I feel like
That's a good movie.
I feel like we could do something.
I think you
with
just
it.
pulled the Shooter McGavin on
The
you.
Shooter McGavin.
I've been trying to think of a good slogan for myself lately, and that's something you want a motto. So our motto for this podcast, it's figuring it out. Like we literally had no clue where to start, and then we slowly figured it out, along the way. So.
Well, I think that's actually a good thing for anything. I mean, I think anybody like myself who's involved in law, or if you're involved in something else, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, and you got to find your own way.
100%.
And I think that's kind of the best advice I ever received, was that you've got to find your own way. Whether you're doing the practice of law, the practice of medicine, if you're doing technology, if you're selling insurance, if you're doing
100%.
anything, you got to find your own way. How you do things, what's best for you.
What works.
Don't
best
try
for
to
you.
copy what someone else does.
Yeah.
But I like to take in other people's ideas and stuff too. Like
every day.
receive all the information you can, and then decipher what's going to work, what's not going to work.
Every day.
And I don't like to take advice from people who aren't doing good. It's like, you keep your advice to yourself.
So we look at this. We did this year. You're going to be podcasting, I believe, 54,
Okay.
and it's been 11 months, I believe.
I've done 54 podcasts in 11 months, so you're doing about 2 a month
On average.
on average.
No. Is that right?
No, it's like one a week, right?
1 week.
One a week, so you're doing 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
So maybe just a little more, but it was just that's.
Some weeks we'll hit like 2 or 3, 4.
Yeah, and we just kind of
Depends.
sit there and you keep doing it, you get a little better.
But man, we're getting traction. Like for real, we just did a cooking show. I don't know if you saw the cooking show. That
I actually did see the cooking show.
Yeah, it picked up like 3,000
Actually,
views.
all I did was I didn't actually watch the cooking show, but I just saw your ugly heads with your white coats on.
That's
that was
good stuff.
That was real good
It's
stuff.
marketing, yeah.
I didn't know if you were cooking or cooking something else.
We're
you know what I'm
both,
saying?
everything.
We were just Lauren's a childhood friend of ours.
Sure.
She's starting her little business, and
That's awesome. So what was it? Was cooking after midnight?
Yeah, no, we were
Is that
here.
Coupe de Ville
we
from
were
Oxford,
here
from
every
old
day.
Oxford
Yeah.
peeps?
They're still around.
If they're still around,
No,
then
they're
they're doing
not,
something.
they're not.
They can't be around.
Whenever we got the video out, we did it on a Monday afternoon because we work, so we waited until after work to go over there and film. It was right at dusk, I think, sundown, and then we filmed. We came back here, we uploaded everything, and we started editing. And I think we had it done by midnight. So whenever we went ahead and released it, that's why we called it the Midnight Grind, because that was what we were doing at midnight. We didn't film it at midnight. No.
Well, I mean, I just saw cooking after midnight, and I started thinking about talking about.
yeah, that's,
That
microwave pizzas, or what are we talking
you might
about
have just
now?
come up with something for us, actually.
should we do more midnight grimes?
Yeah,
I think you ought to.
cooking
I
after
think you ought to
midnight should
do
be the-
podcasts like after midnight.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what are you doing after midnight?
If I can make it.
Nothing goes down good after midnight.
That's what my dad
really.
always used to say.
Nothing goes down good after midnight.
You still say it?
I
mean, you got a couple
back in my
kids.
day, I would say that, but I've kind of.
Yeah.
I don't really go out too much anymore.
No,
I'm
you're
too
getting-
old.
You're getting
man.
old, man.
But
Me
do you
too.
do you make it past midnight every night?
Do I make it?
Yeah.
I usually work till midnight almost every night.
Really? What time do you go to bed?
I usually go to bed if I sleep.
Sleep.
Well, a lot of times, I
I
mean,
can't. I've been going through it. I can't sleep right now.
no, I can't sleep at all. A lot of times, guys, I'll go to sleep at, my kids usually go to sleep at 8, and I'll try to go to sleep at 9, but I'm up at 3.
Yeah.
I start my day at, I'm rocking and rolling at 4 something. So that's
That's what
just
we need to do, Jordan. You should start waking up at 4.
that's just how I do things.
Everybody's
I'm just a morning
Everybody's
person.
been on. Yeah, everybody goes to bed at 9. Goes to bed and is up at before everybody.
Yeah, look, I'm not the smartest cat in the, sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay.
Right.
And so I've got to outwork you. I'm gonna outwork you, and I'm gonna win. And that's just the long and the short.
That's
All right?
your slogan.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We
win.
got it right there.
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win.
All right.
Corbin Gunn's gonna win.
Favorite law movie?
There's some good ones out there.
Yeah, but your favorite? Come on,
man. Let me think. Time to Kill is always a good one, brother.
It is really. It is.
I mean,
really.
that's just.
Yeah, he deserved to die, and I hope it burns in hell.
That was a classic. Lincoln Lawyer, right up there. Lincoln Lawyer's a good one.
All right.
The Firm's a good one.
The Firm was
any of the Grisham novels.
I always think about The Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate, that's some messed up stuff.
It was some really messed up stuff.
But it was good.
But it was good.
Except Keanu Reeves' Southern accent. That was pretty terrible.
Where was he from in that movie? It was Louisiana?
It was the Panhandle of Florida, which is pretty rough when you start thinking about it.
Yeah, that's
because there's no good gas stations in the Panhandle of Florida except for Marietta and Destin.
Why is that?
Because there's some rough white people.
Dude, you always see this stuff like on Instagram. It's like the Florida. They're always making fun of Florida because they make the news with some of the most random articles or some baby getting ate by an alligator or something. That's always in Florida. The weird things.
Horrible.
Yeah,
that one in Disney World. That's the one you're talking about. That was terrible.
But I've got a lot of good times in Florida personally.
I have too. I'm just telling you, they don't have good gas stations.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to
think about it. Think about it. There's Crestview.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're in a good gas station till Marietta.
You're probably. I mean, you're right.
I know I'm right because there's a truck. Because I'm a truck stop guy.
So, do you think that there's market for potential growth there?
No, I don't. I'm just saying.
It's just the people that live there.
I'm just saying. I'd rather be in Bendale, Mississippi, at the Chevron than go in the Panhandle, Florida.
Well, you're guaranteed some good fried chicken. And
that has got good fried chicken. Actually, the best fried chicken is the Buckatuna Chevron up on Highway 45.
Okay.
I
haven't been there.
See, I do stuff all over the state, so I'm always driving all over the place, right?
All right.
And I love.
I've seen you clock how many miles first with the new truck.
The new truck, I've had it 2 weeks, 3,700 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Time to sell it already.
Nah, I usually wear them out too quick.
How many miles were on your last truck?
76,000 in 2 years.
That's a lot. And so that's because of law and cases that you've taken where you got to drive all over down the state?
That's right. I do a lot of things all over. I don't just do stuff down
I know you hunt. I've been seeing you up to hunt in camp.
Well, my son hunts.
Your son hunts.
I don't take a gun.
No, why not? Did you ever hunt?
Growing up, yeah.
So your dog didn't come back?
When my dog didn't come back and went off with the old man with the shoes. When I was growing up, my dad taught me a lot. My dad still knows every nook and cranny of the Pascagoula River.
Okay.
He grew up on the river. He's from Moss Point. And my grandfather was the first general surgeon on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
What?
Okay.
What year? Oh, what year?
What year Dr. Gunn was?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking back. He was the general practitioner in Moss Point, then went to Emory and got a surgical residence, then came back. And so anytime he died a couple years ago at like 92. And this is a pretty funny story. So I would take my grandfather to, let's say, eat at Crackle Barrel. He loved going to Crackle Barrel.
Oh, me too. That
spot.
Right?
And he kind of had these things where he'd get some fluid on the brain and he'd kind of leave for a while, for a year or two, and he'd come back. They'd drain it and he'd come back, and then he'd be back to like normal. Well, we'd take him up to Crackle Barrel, and somebody come up and say, Dr. Gunn, you saved my mama. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much. Blah, 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 blah. And then they'd walk off. I say, Clyde. I call my grandfather Clyde. I said, Clyde, who is that? He goes, I don't know. And he delivered babies and did surgery on everybody. Remember the guy with the one-legged guy at Bozo's? Did y'all ever go to Bozo's, Pascagoula?
I've been there.
Okay, there was this,
recently not.
All right, there was this one-legged guy, and I would take my grandfather to Bozo's in Pascagoula, and he was chief of staff at Singing River forever and all that stuff. And so I'd take him. This is he's retired and old.
So you're just now starting out really in your
no,
career,
this has nothing to do with my career. I'm just telling you how Mississippi's funny.
Your age.
Oh, and
during this time.
Oh, during this time I was I was probably in college.
Okay.
All right. So it's 20 years ago. And so I took him to Bozo's, and he would always get free po' boys at Bozo's. I never figured out why he got free po' boys at Bozo's. And finally I asked him, I said, Clyde, why in the world do these people never charge you for a po' boy? Well, I helped a man out one time. Well, I didn't know what he meant because he never really talked about it.
Yeah.
So then I finally asked my dad. I said, Dad, why does Clyde always get free po' boys at Bozo's? He said, well, the old man back there that answers the phone, that's all he does is answer the phone. He's got one leg. So my grandfather went down. That man got his leg caught in the auger on the shrimp boat, and my grandfather left the hospital, went down there and cut him out of that thing and cut his leg off on the shrimp boat.
Oh, my gosh.
Saved his life, and that's why he got free po' boys and didn't charge him.
Yeah, can you imagine the fully loaded shrimp po' boy for free?
So that's
get your leg chopped off?
No, you know the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, no, but he got free po' boys, never charged. He didn't charge people. He didn't. So that was really
that's
cool.
how it was back in the day.
But growing up, that's how I would go fishing with him on the Pascagoula River all the time. go with my dad. We go hunting, we go fishing and whatnot. And then my son, it's kind of like my dad's like the cool grandfather, I guess you could say. He wasn't, not really cool dad, but cool grandfather. Okay. And so he would take my son hunting every weekend. And finally, I was just like, okay. I mean, he loves to hunt, so that's what we're gonna do. And so
now you got a hunt camp.
I got a hunt camp, and he hunts. And
so, I love the fact that you've given your son a nickname. Can we talk about it?
Oh yeah, you can talk about it.
The Professor.
The Professor.
Yeah. Where's that come from?
Because see, my kids are smarter than I am.
Yeah, they all are. Smarter than all of us.
Yeah. So fortunately, my wife is a very, very smart lady or person. She was a Taylor medalist at Ole Miss. Of course, I'm barely passing at Ole Miss. She's a Taylor
equal degrees, man.
Taylor medalist is the highest academic honor you can get, right?
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So So yeah, I'm serious.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
It is the hair. So my son is quite bright, and he goes to this little highfalutin school called Coast Episcopal, which is a wonderful school in Long Beach, and we drive from Ocean Springs every morning. I take him to Coast Episcopal, where he and my daughter have been going since they were 6 months. And they did some test or something, and he came out that his reasoning was like this is when he was like 7. He's 10 now. That he came out reasoning was like 18 or 19. I was like, I'm not even there. And so I started calling him the Professor since then, and it's kind of stuck with him.
Yeah, does he love it? Like, does he?
He doesn't know I call it. He doesn't know I call him the Professor.
Okay.
It's only
all his photos.
It's only his photos
and his dad.
Yeah, it's only his photos.
Close, though. I've been fishing.
I know what
him.
he's talking about.
He loves to fish.
Man, that kid's
we went on an
amazing.
overnight trip one time. And this kid, he outfished every single person on the boat, and then was mad when we came back.
Yeah, we'd only been fishing for like 40 hours straight.
Yeah.
That's cool that you don't bring a gun and you go hunting with your son.
Yeah, I don't take a gun.
You take a video camera?
No, take a video camera.
And you start taking video cameras.
Nah, I don't do all that.
No?
He watches all those YouTube stuff.
Is that what he does when he hunts? Because we just had some kids up at the camp with us, and when they hunt with somebody, they're sitting there and they're on their phone the whole time.
No,
he's like staring out.
No, he's zoned in.
That's good.
Doing his thing. Same thing when he's fishing. I mean, he's all about, like, for me, like when we've been fishing together. Jordan, you need to come with us because it's such a good time.
It's about the experience.
For me, it's
are we doing 64 miles an hour?
No.
Stevie B's playing? I'm down.
No.
Corbin's on a speed limit on water for here on out.
Yeah, I've kind of had to slow down. We can talk about that too. Anyway, for me, like going fishing with guys, all right, there's a couple things that you got to love about life, right? And one of them is fellowship with friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you cannot have better fellowship with guys and friends than going fishing on a boat where you're stuck on the boat and all you can do is tell stories and laugh. I don't care if we catch a fish.
It's always a good time.
I never care if we catch a fish. Now, my son, he's there to fish.
Yeah, he don't care about them stories.
No, he don't care about them stories, and he knows that what goes on the boat stays on the boat.
That's a good rule.
No, it's a real rule.
Yeah.
If he doesn't stay on the boat, he doesn't go again.
How far do you go? How long do you go out for?
Well, I mean, when we do an overnight, what is it, Brooks?
I don't know. It was probably 5 hours. I think it was
at least.
Yeah.
Let's see. We leave at noon and we come back at 5.
Yeah. It was a rough one, that last one.
Yeah, it was long.
We went 400 plus miles.
So, yeah, something like that. So, and it's
I'm down.
You ought to do it. It's so much fun.
I'm down.
But I mean, to take I've been taking him offshore since he was 5. So
that's a big commitment too to take how old did you say he was?
He's 10 now.
Yeah, take a 10-year-old on an overnight. I mean, that's a lot of maturity on his part to even be able to want to go and stay focused.
Like I said, he's more mature than I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You're doing okay then.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Yeah. So, and but that's been a good. I've actually really, really enjoyed that. I think that spending time with your children, for people that have children, for someone who works as much as I do, and I think it's important to do fun things with your children.
You just said you were at practice right before you came here. So.
Yeah, I was at baseball practice. At the hitting, my son loves baseball, and he's with his nice little travel team, and they were having a batting practice in the facility in Dalryville.
So, do you I went one time to watch an attorney at Jackson County.
Okay,
and I was there, and it was my first experience to actually just be there, and I was there for a while.
Sure.
At the time I was dating a girl, we had to go to court over some baby daddy issues or something.
Well, you were probably in Chancery Court, I take it. That's a little bit different animal than what I practice.
But I'll tell you what, I had respect for all them attorneys that were in there because it was a waiting game. I mean, it was like an all day with recesses. I mean, there was a waiting game. There's guys just sitting out the lobby, they're prepping their work. But I sat there for 4 or 5 hours, and all them attorneys were sitting there with me.
Okay, so that's Chancery Court. All right, so anybody that has has child custody issues, has domestic issues, has divorce issues, land issues.
So is that civil?
That is civil, but it's a separate court. It's called Chancery Court. And I don't practice in Chancery Court other than when I settle monetary or compensation cases for children. Okay?
Gotcha.
Or like today, I was filing an estate on a wrongful death claim for a guy that was killed up the way by a beer truck. And so, that's the times I've been Chancery Court. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. All right. That's a different practice. Lawyers, it seems nowadays, just like your doctors.
They fall into like the umbrella and
kind of fall into a speciality.
Different categories for sure.
Yeah. So lawyers that practice Chancery Court, a lot of them do divorce work. They do child custody issues. They do domestic relations. Some of them do land issues. My great uncle Larry Corban, who I practiced law with for 15 years before I started my office, he did all of like the Dixie Mafia land stuff. He was the go-to.
Some cool projects.
Cool guy.
Is that how you got your name?
Well, Corban is my dad's mother's maiden name, and my great grandfather was Judge Corban, who was the circuit judge in Biloxi and Harrison County for like 30-something years.
Wow, man.
And I still have his gavel. I mean, he sent us the first man.
Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
He sent us the first man to the electric chair.
So where would you put
And then my great grandfather was a judge too. And
so like you said, it's really lawyers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a 6th generation Mississippian and 5th generation Mississippi lawyer. Before lawyers, they grew tomatoes.
It's good to know that though. He said attorneys fall in different categories.
No, they do,
and that's cool to know because that's right because I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I get calls all the time from friends. A lot of friends will call me with let's just say
legal questions,
domestic issue, and I'll tell them what I think. And then I'll tell them who to go see.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I handle.
It's not what you want to do. I kind of do that too in insurance.
Sure.
I pick my niche and I know what I can do easy, and then I know what I don't want to do. I absolutely don't want to do.
Right.
And I can refer that out. But, when I was in college, me and Kovacevic were actually real good friends. And because he was in, law school whenever I was there, I met all of his lawyer friends, and I'm sitting there listening to what they're talking about all the time.
Sure.
So I feel like I've been engulfed a lot. I used to want to go to law school until I saw what he did and what he went through. And I was like, man, I'm going to let my friend do it.
I had a really tough time in law school.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much an open book.
And I wasn't dedicated enough.
Well, I had a problem where I'd never been diagnosed with ADHD, even though obviously I was. But I was always, I guess, smart enough to get by. High school, playing sports, and still making A's because I didn't have to study. Got in college and, back then was really doing frat stuff.
Yeah.
Really pledging, stuff like that.
Frat stuff.
My grades, I started off.
Animal House.
Yeah, Animal House. I've got some really good stories there of stuff I did up there. But I got way back. I didn't do well in school the first 2 years, and I had to fight my way to make good grades. And it wasn't until I got in law school that I got behind and really struggled because it just never clicked with me. Right. I'm a fat guy. When I say fat guy, I mean I'm a storyteller. Yeah. Okay? You got to know your strengths, right? And it wasn't until I got out of law school that it hit me. And really when it hit me was, this is a great story. So my wife is from the Mississippi Delta, from Clarksdale, okay?
Been there.
Yeah, good. Her parents are great people. Her dad's the town doctor, all right? And so I got done with law school early. I was going to take the February bar, all right? I was getting married in May in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And if you have never been to the Delta, it's real Mississippi. Yeah. Okay. So I had this fear of failing the bar. I was
like nightmare.
I was for sure I was going to fail because I just wasn't a very good student. And so I studied down here. She was still in school. She's a pharmacist for Walmart now and still is. But she was still at Oxford. I was down here. I was studying like at my dad's law office. Then I'd go to Waffle House and study a different.
Mary Mahoney's part.
Go to Mary Mahoney's and study a different section and everything. And every day after that, I was stressed out. I said I'd go down to the old Palace and have a drink at the bar. All right, just down the road, go down Howard, keep on going. And there was this old man in a wheelchair in there every day. Every day he was in there having a glass of Chardonnay. And me being me, I stroked up a conversation with him after a couple of days of this old man just being in there in a wheelchair. Yeah, his name was Tom. He was a super nice man. And he always had one or two men with him that were very nice. And then, after a couple weeks, this went on for weeks. He said, Corbin, I want you, when you get done with, he knew I was studying for the bar and I was nervous about getting married. And he goes, when you get done with this bar, I want you to come work for me. And I said, Tom, what the hell are you talking about? You're an old man in a wheelchair. Well, he was Tom Center, who was a senior status federal judge who had moved down here from Aberdeen. And he was the senior federal judge, and that's how I got my clerkship. And that's when I learned about the law.
The law
was from him.
Not in law school, but from somebody.
Your knowledge came from,
practical. I would have never gotten a position like that. That's how
the world works, man.
Sometimes you just got to be nice to people.
Yeah.
I
it finds you.
I try to practice law that way. Okay, when I'm in a room, I mean, people know me. Most likely there's no one tougher that's in the room. Okay, when I say I'm the only one that's been punched in the face or been in a fist fight, it's probably correct.
Right.
Okay, I don't practice law that way. I practice law with respect. I practice law with being nice.
Yeah, you get a lot further in life being nice.
You get so much further in life, especially nowadays. And I practiced law with my dad, who was an infamous lawyer in the state of Mississippi, and had the largest verdict for the longest time.
What case was that?
That was the Wesson case, when Dr. and Miss Wesson in Ocean Springs died. With
Wesson Memorial, that run that race before.
Yeah, that was my dad.
Okay.
When he was a young lawyer, you ever read The Rainmaker by John Grisham?
No, but we just
Have
recently
you watched the movie?
We just recently did a podcast in John Grisham's building and had all of his artifacts and stuff around it. That was pretty cool.
So
no, I haven't seen it.
So The Rainmaker was about a young lawyer taking on an insurance company, a life insurance company that didn't pay something. Well, in this case, the Wesson children, the parents, Dr. and Miss Wesson, died in a plane crash.
Is this the shotgun?
So what?
The shotgun that fired the shell and hit the kid in the head?
No.
Okay.
That's a different one.
Okay. There was a movie about that. That's what the guy told us all about.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No. This is where they died in a plane crash, and then the insurance company wouldn't pay their children the life insurance over some premium wasn't paid or something like that. And my dad was a very young lawyer at the time. I mean, he was in his early 30s. And he rode the bus up to New York and took depositions and things of that nature, and then ended up trying it in Jackson County and got the largest verdict in the history of the state of Mississippi.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's big shoes to fill.
Well, no, I'm just telling you that the greatest thing that he ever told me was you got to find your own way.
Yeah.
I don't practice law like he did. It was a different time, a different place, and so I think that I think it gets with any business. Treat people with respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be nice to people.
Oh, amazing.
And then tell the truth. I'm very, very open and honest with my clients from the get-go.
Right.
I'll tell you what's wrong with your case when you come to see me. I can pinpoint it just like that.
I mean, experience. You've been in it long enough to see.
Been in it long enough, just kind of, but it's also just walking around knowledge.
Right.
I mean.
Street knowledge.
It is. What's good,
Streets
what's bad.
Of Ocean Springs.
What's good, what's bad. How are people going to react to certain facts in your case.
And you only take on people that you want to take on.
Oh yeah, I represent. I try to represent people and I choose my cases very wisely, most of the time.
So we're not going to have any commercials where you're like Morris Barton on the side of the road.
That's a different business model.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Alexander Chenard's billboards all over the place.
Well, I do all of Alexander Chenard's serious cases in Mississippi.
Okay, let me tell you Alexander Chenard's story. It includes Kovacevic. So we're in college and we're playing in the Compass Bowl. Ole Miss is. I don't know if you remember that year.
That was in Birmingham at that old stadium. I was there.
Oh, it was a terrible stadium.
And it was a terrible team hotel too. The Hilton.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
It was bad. The whole trip was bad.
But we were so excited just to be at the bowl.
Yeah. That was in the prime of our up and coming.
That was Hugh Freeze's first year, I think, wasn't it?
So we get to we bought a block of tickets, and
it was rough getting to that stadium.
Oh yeah, we almost got robbed. Somebody.
It was rough.
But anyway, the guy who bought the block of tickets had been already there a little bit before us. He walked inside the stadium. Game's about to start. We're walking up. And we're going to try to call him. And the phone doesn't work. And there was too many people in the town and not enough cell phone coverage to give everyone service. And it's just beep, 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 beep. And we all sitting there taking turns. There's probably 10 of us. And we bought this block. And he's up there with probably 20 other people that threw it on the block. But we couldn't get in touch with him. So they shut the gates. We hear the kickoff. And we're like, man, we came all the way here. We got a hotel room. For this game, we can't get there. And this guy taps me on the shoulder. He's like, what's wrong, man? Man, we can't get in. And he said, why not? So we got tickets. I explained it to him. And he's like, how many do you need? And I said, I don't know. There's 10 of us. And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out a stack of tickets and hands me 10 of them. He's like, y'all have a good day, man. Y'all have fun. Good luck. And I was like, man, who are you? I'm going to pay you for them. And he was like, no, you'll see my billboards on the way outside of town. You'll know who to thank then. So we leave the next day, and we're driving home, and we see all these Shannara billboards, and we're like, that was that dude. Like,
I was actually working on
Let's
a you know, it's funny you bring that up. I was actually working on a case that Shannara brought in Hattiesburg today.
Really?
Yeah, they
there's a shout out to Shannara, man. I appreciate
there is.
those
I mean,
tickets,
you know, it's a different business model.
Yeah.
Okay, but they do get serious cases, just like my friends that work, say, at Morris Bart, and they get serious cases, and sometimes they need help with them. And in this case, that's what I do is I help them. I help others around the country, and I do cases all over the country.
So is it more like you're a specialist and they subcontract it out to you, or
no? It's just you come in and help.
okay, just an assistant,
Not
just
an assistant.
Fee on a fee basis, I'm sure.
You share the fee.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
So
where all have you been? I mean, you say you're outside of the state of Mississippi, like.
I mean, I did a lot of the BP oil stuff in New Orleans. I did a lot of the Granuflow multi-district litigation in Boston, Massachusetts. Did the lead case on that. Doing cases in Kentucky right now. Doing a case in Missouri right now. Doing a case in Vegas right now.
And you got a lot going on right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I stay busy, but I do a lot of work here. Most of my work is in Mississippi.
Good.
By far.
So how do you do this? You got a notepad?
Do I have a notepad?
Do you have a legal paper notepad? Because a lot of people that come on with your drive, there's a lot of people that come on with drive and they're sleeping early. They all have yellow notepads, and they write everything down.
No, how I do things, well, no, I mean, that's a good point. A lot of it's in my head, okay? I can do 5 and 6 things at a time. But, like, if I'm at my desk, okay, I write a checklist, old school.
I do too.
You know,
everywhere.
I'm starting to get better at that.
No,
got a whiteboard on the
no,
wall.
but like, I mean, it goes back to, you know, being open about yourself. You know, I have a problem with being hyperactive.
No, not you.
Well, for me,
you know, but being mind racing. And so I literally, you know, some people may have it on their phone or have it on their computer. I like on my yellow legal pad, and I check it off.
I got like 5 of them on my desk right now.
First thing I do when I sit down at my desk is I start writing. Like, it'll be invoices, mail, workout, this, and during the day I'm checking it off.
It gives you that little endorphin fire off
Something.
too whenever you
It works
check it
for me.
off. You know?
It works
That's
for me.
Same thing with Sean. Same thing with Michael West.
Yeah.
They all do the yellow legal.
I started doing that. I try to store it all in my head. I'm ADHD too, so like I feel like I can juggle a lot of things in my head. But it got to a point where it's like I started skipping a few things.
Sure.
So I started writing down notes in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Find that to be okay, and then I moved to doing yellow legal paper. And that seemed to be better.
You gotta have hard evidence.
No, I can tell you right now there's legal pads, and then there's wannabe legal pads. Okay,
Yeah.
The ones you get at Walmart are not good ones.
No,
They just don't
Where do
tear
you
off
get your
good.
legal
Yeah, I wanna
pads?
know-
Office Depot, baby.
Office Depot.
Office
Big
Depot.
difference?
Big difference.
See, mine are from Walmart.
And they gotta be.
Do they
And
have
I like the
blue
yellow
on the
too.
top? So I got yellow.
That's what
Go
I got.
ahead.
Yellow.
I want yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a yellow, and then I'll have. I don't care what pen I have, but it's got to be a G2. I don't care what color it is. It's got to be a G2.
G2. That's
Salt,
a
it's got the
smooth
salt,
right.
the
That's
soft
smooth
little.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that one or the other one that's kind of silvery with the blue top. My
that
paralegal
one.
Brandy gets it for me, and they're great.
Is it a big?
G2 is a sharp pen. Pen.
Do
It
you
really
rip?
is.
Do you rip?
But
off?
I'm not a pen guy. Like, I've had 2 nice. You know, people sometimes have nice pens. You know.
I've seen people that spend $300.
Yeah. No. That sucker will be gone in a day.
Yeah, that's for
okay.
sure.
I mean, I've got like I started having to wear readers. Okay, and so everybody gets in like nice glasses and stuff. Hell no, I just go to Walmart and get me some readers. Right.
Got like 10 pairs. Leave them laying around.
Oh, they're all over the damn
yeah,
place.
that's good.
I mean, I've got a couple in my truck.
Never not
I got
be
a couple
without.
here, a couple there. You can look around. Oh, there's some glasses. I probably got 15 pair of them someplace. You know, and they're all different. All look like old grandmas. Too.
I'm blind as a bat anyway. But
I've got some right now that I wore today that look like a woman from 1950.
my
I'm
mom-
not kidding.
My mom and dad both have them, and they share them. Like they'll be out to eat or something, and they'll be trying to read the menu.
Oh yeah, let me see my
dad
glasses.
will be like,
Forgot
"Let
my
me see your
glasses.
Yeah. It's scary to know that's what the
I mean,
future
I'll put,
holds.
and I don't even care what they are. I grabbed like the 5-pack at Walmart, and they're funky. Okay, I don't care what they are.
They tore the shells.
I'll be there eventually.
Oh no, dude, you will.
I will. I can. My dad did that. I think my dad was in his early 40s. I'm 34, so my dad was mid 40s, and he started. But when he started doing his readers every day, and then all of a sudden has to have glasses all the time now. So he told me got into readers, and then all of a sudden because he wore his readers all day long.
Yeah.
And now
Mine I can't see. Like it's just for reading and just at my computer. If I get up and walk like to the post office, I'll be like.
I'm blind as a
blurry.
bat, so I got to have corrected vision.
See, I'm
all
not
the time.
blind. I went to the eye doctor for the first time. She said, "Corbin, there's nothing wrong with your eyesight."
For the first time.
First time ever. This was a couple months ago, very nice lady, and she was like, Corbin, there's nothing wrong with your eyes. You're still 20/20. It's just the muscles have screwed up where they're not working like they're supposed to. And
they should give you muscle exercises for your eyes.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They probably should have.
Yeah.
You know,
should probably Google that. See if you can't find.
It's called getting old.
Yeah.
You know,
that's when that last fishing trip we were all on. Me and Josh were sitting in the beanbags, and we go to get up, and I'm like, ugh. And I said, when did it happen, dude? He goes, what? I said, us having to make all these noises every time we get up and sit down. Man,
dude,
it's just bad.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it, but that's life.
Well, nothing wrong with getting in a beanbag.
We're no spry chickens anymore.
No, we're not.
No.
And
so let's talk about boats real quick.
Sure.
You said we got to infiltrate a speed limit on you. Got a little boat accident.
I did have a boat accident.
Yeah, so let's give a plug to Z Marine. All right, and
Hussein Zayed, Z Custom Boats.
Custom boats, and he made you a couple of them now, right?
Yeah, I've got 2.
Okay.
I've got the original 18 that he built for himself that I bought for my son. Really, I just bought it for me. I actually didn't tell my wife I was doing it. I just bought it and I gave it to a 10-year-old, telling him it's for his sister too. But I just figured junior high honeys be running to Horn Island on that thing.
That's right.
And then
respect, Dad.
I mean,
set them up.
It's right.
It's a fly little boat though.
It's awesome.
Oh.
And then you always got to believe in your friends. I think that's important in life. I'm a big believer in I'd rather give money. Like if I'm going to have to spend money.
Yeah.
We all do. Like we all have to go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
We all got to go to a service station, grocery store, whatever you got to do. Man, I'm a big believer in I'm going to give my friends the money.
Family feeds family. That's our motto. Like,
and so,
100%.
So, when I was growing up, my dad hated boats. I mean, he liked stuff on the Pasco River, little boats. When I was growing up, I said, man, I remember standing on the beach one time. This wasn't too long ago. And I was watching everybody come back from Horn Island and stuff, and I didn't have a boat. And I was like, you know what? One day I want to – this is probably in college, maybe high school. I was like, man, I want to haul ass back from Horn Island one day. Some people have these high goals. I just want to haul ass back from Horn Island. Okay, and
that dog leaving you for the guy really messed you
Daddy,
up.
do you know? Have you ever seen his dad's house on East Beach?
Yeah,
I'm shocked that he never got into boats. Like, because I mean, the way the house is laid out.
Man, we moved there. My dad still lives there, and we actually had a bonfire down there on his beach. Probably 2-3 weeks ago for boys and their dads, and we probably had 65 people there.
Really,
yeah.
Sounds like a real.
And so you had 30.
Of a time.
So we moved to East Beach, and so many people have been to that house.
Oh yeah.
I remember, growing up in high school, I would have these big parties. Okay, and then my brothers had some after them. I've got 2 younger brothers, but back then you could get away with stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, there'd be hundreds of people there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All over the coast, whatnot.
Sunplex too.
Oh, but just everybody Sunplex. But we would have these parties and people would come from everywhere. And so when I got to Ole Miss, I mean, I'd be going like, "Hey, my name's Corbin." Yeah, I've been to your house. This was somebody from like Tupelo. Okay. And then I even met a dude in D.C. that had been to my house. He was from Alabama. Okay.
Creepy.
And so we were down there having this bonfire, and all these boys are up there playing, smeared the deer, they call it now, and football and everything else in my dad's yard. And my dad he lives in Florida now, and he actually came back during the bonfire.
Yeah, because your son. This is the father-son weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, he knew we were having the party, so I knew he'd show up. So he shows up probably about 11:30, and he pulls in or whatever, and all these boys are still there playing. And so I see my dad probably twice a week. I'll go over at like 4:30 in the morning. We'll sit on his porch and drink coffee. And that next morning when he goes, "No, that was pretty cool." He's like, here I am, old, and my grandson's doing the same thing y'all did with 30 kids in the yard playing football. And so we moved there when I was in 4th grade. The rest of the time I grew up downtown. Moved there in 4th grade, and what a great place to grow up. But we fished and, caught alligators and tied up alligators and turtles and everything else. But my dad he didn't like, having a big boat. That just wasn't his thing. Everybody's got to have their thing. So when I grew up, I was like, man, I really want a fast, big boat. And I've had different ones. But the one Hussein built for me is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it gets, when I go to Orange Beach a lot, I like that. I like doing things here. I don't really like traveling too much anymore. Obviously COVID, but I'd enjoy going to Horn Island as much as I like going to the Caribbean.
Right.
And I like going to Orange Beach a lot, taking the boat, running over, 72 miles. And everybody comes up just wanting
72 miles?
Yeah, from putting the boat in to Robinson Island.
Snap! That's a getaway.
Yeah, so
you treat it on the boat.
Well, you can get there pretty quick sometimes.
Yeah, whenever you got one of those machines that move. How fast is your boat again?
76.
That's stupid.
What? Yeah, full throttle, huh? How about the 18-foot?
The 18's sick. That's more fun anyway. But it'll run 50. But the point is that going to Orange Beach, everybody comes up wanting to know about the boat, loving the boat, unbelievable. And it's a guy that we grew up with that builds some of the nicest boats in the world.
Yeah, out of Ocean Springs.
Right there in Ocean Springs, across from Rouse's.
I used to I've cleaned his boat when we were kids in high school. He lived in Stark Bayou, I think it was. What's the Heron Bayou, the old house he used to live in?
Who? Which one?
Hussein, his parents' house.
You're talking about before his dad moved to Bayou Savoie?
Yeah,
at the end of Bayou Savoie.
Yeah, I think it was like Stark something, wasn't it? Like
I didn't know him until where his dad lives now, so could have been wherever.
It's close by Heron Bayou though. It's somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's Bayou Savoie.
That's what. Okay.
Yeah,
that's where I first met him. Well, my cousin was Adam Firth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I met everybody because I'm over at St. Martin. He's in Ocean Springs. I ended up moving to New Culleoka and living next to Eric Krill.
Yeah, so I live in the Vineyard, which is right past Culleoka.
Really?
Yeah, off Ocean Springs Road.
So I really got to experience the Ocean Springs life, especially with y'all's little Phi Kappa and everybody.
that was. I'm older than you guys. That was some real stuff back in the day.
Yeah,
when we did that.
Still is real stuff. I think they still have it.
Do they still have that?
Yeah.
I don't know
you
how.
Probably charter the local high school Phi Kappa, don't you?
No.
You probably should. Yeah, add that on your list of things.
I do sponsor the football team and the baseball team, but I don't know. Yeah, so I don't.
Is it a Corban Gun first down?
I think it was a.
Because that'd be cool.
I don't know. My sign's on the 50.
We didn't. What was his slogan he came up with?
I don't remember.
Corban Gunn.
I will win.
All I do is win.
All I do is win.
Well, no, guys. Look, if y'all ever need a good lawyer, go check out our buddy Corbin. He'll help y'all out. Corbin, we appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Man, it was really nice to be here. I'd love to come back if we can.
Yeah, we definitely
sure,
want
buddy.
to have you back. Maybe we can do something out on the field one day. Just start going and ask people for legal.
Maybe I'll wear a suit.
No.
Come on, we should all wear suits.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Man, the only time I wear a suit, and I do wear a nice suit, Peter Grant, is that
nice play.
is when I go to court.
Really.
Other than that, you're going to catch me.
I told Creed I wanted to do the podcast at Creed's.
You'll find me in
place.
cowboy boots and jeans.
And I was like, man, we're all going to wear tuxedos whenever we interview you. It's like,
Creed?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
dude,
gonna
that guy.
He's always in a suit.
He's probably got his ass can on or whatever it is.
Coast best chest. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. You guys need a good lawyer. Go see our buddy Corban Gunn down in Biloxi.
All right, guys. Talk
See
to you
y'all
later.
Thank you.